Hey guys, this video will be a review and test of the ScaleTrains.com General Electric Tier 4 GEVO in HO scale. The model we're going to look at today came factory equipped with DCC and ESU Loksound, and it's lettered for Canadian National designation ET44AC. So the first thing we'll do is see what comes in the box. So they've included a set of roller bearing caps because these have the rotating roller bearing caps in the trucks. So if you lose these, which tends to happen on like the Athearn Genesis tank cars and stuff like that, that's nice that they've included some of those in case you do lose some. Okay, we'll take an up close look at the detail now. One thing I wanted to point out before we get started here, as I was setting this up, I just noticed this thing has a slight lean to it. It's leaning towards this side here. And no matter what I do, I can't get it to sit level. See, if you push down, that's kind of where it should be. But as soon as you let it go, it goes back. I got another one out of the box just to make sure, and it doesn't sit as bad as this one. I'm not sure why it does that. That's kind of that's not cool. Anyway, we'll take a look at the close detail. So yeah, looking at the back here, you can definitely see that's a lot more pronounced. Just will not sit level. Well, that's too bad. It's kind of disappointing. Okay, just to prove to myself that I'm not crazy, I'm going to put a different one on here just to make sure, because this diorama is level. I've done tons of videos with it, and the tripod's got a level on it, and it's showing that it's level. Yeah, this one's a lot better. Doesn't seem to be perfect though, but there's just a lot of play. But this one is a lot better than the other one. Here's a square sitting beside them. You can see they both are definitely leaning to this direction. Not sure if that's something I can fix. I'll have to maybe pull one of the back trucks off. It seems to be more pronounced at the back, so to see if I can take one of the trucks off and see what's going on there. Okay, now that we've had a look at the detail on this model, let's put it on the scale and see what it weighs in at. $739 grams. Wow. 26.1 ounces. That is that's a record for heaviest locomotive I've ever weighed. That's impressive. That's a lot of weight in that locomotive. Let's put it on the track and see what it can push and pull. So we'll do 3 tests and take the average. $115 grams. Pretty sure that's a record too. Wow, 130 grams. $120 grams. That's 4.46 ounces. So that is a crazy amount of pulling ability. Definitely the highest locomotive I've ever tested. Let's flip it around and see what it can do on the drawbar push. $120 grams. $120 grams. So drawbar push is 120 grams, that's 4.23 ounces, that's still really high. That is very impressive, the pushing and pulling capabilities of this locomotive. Okay, next thing we'll do is go down to track level and take a listen to the different sounds that come on this ESU Loksound decoder. Here's the functions that this locomotive comes factory equipped with. Of course you can change them around if you want, but this is just what it comes with out of the box. And like all the ESU Loksound decoders, they come with a whole bunch of different bells and whistles that you can change if you want. So we've already had a listen to the prime mover and the bell, so we'll go straight to the horn, which also activates the bell. Okay, function 3 is the coupler clank. 4 is the dynamic brakes. You'll have to turn on the prime mover to hear those. Okay, that was function 4, the dynamic brake. 5 is your DPU lights, which we'll look at after this. 6 is the ditch lights. 7 they don't use, which is interesting. 8 is prime mover startup and shutdown. Function 9 is the drive hold. That's an ESU thing. I believe it's like a cruise control type thing where it keeps the engine at the notch that you're in, no matter what the load. 10 is the independent brakes. I believe that just sets the brakes and lets you notch up without the engine moving. 11 is the radiator fan. F13 is the air dryer, so I believe that just it's normally on, and hitting 13 shuts it off, just during normal prime mover sounds. 14 and 15 aren't used. 16 is the air dryer activates on shutdown of the prime mover, so I believe it's normally on, and then 16 you hit it, it just shuts it off. Okay, function 17 doesn't seem to do anything. That's brake set and release. No sound accompanying it. 18 is your sanding valve. That's pretty cool. 19 is a short air let off. 20 is your compressor. And that's all the sound functions. Okay, now that we've listened to the sounds that this locomotive comes factory equipped with, let's take a look at the lighting. Okay, first we'll take a look at our headlight, ditch lights, and DPU light. If you hit that, F5, it shuts the headlights off and turns it on. And you gotta be in the opposite mode. So it has to be in reverse for this front DPU light to come on. That's really bright. So just take a look at those lights one more time. And the dimmer. So that automatically shuts the ditch lights off and dims the headlight. Okay, we'll flip it around and take a look at the lighting on the rear. Okay, so we got our rear headlight, rear ditch lights. They look okay on the camera, but in person they're very dim. That's kind of disappointing. I'll show it from a different angle, maybe you'll be able to see. They look like sort of okay on the camera, but it's probably because it's dark. DPU light, again, nice and bright. That looks really good. So even here it looks sort of okay, but in person it's definitely dim, especially this ditch light on the conductor side here. Okay guys, so just in summary, let's talk about a couple things. So the detail on this thing is incredible. I mean, you've seen the detail on the grills and everything, and the labeling, everything is just top notch. You got roller bearing trucks, which is phenomenal. A couple minor things. I mean, that lean is something that kind of gets me. Even where it's sitting now, you can kind of tell that it's leaning to the left. So that's kind of one of the only flaws in this beautifully done locomotive by Scale Trains. The operation and drivetrain, its slow speed is fantastic. The way the ESU Loksound decoder controls the motor, like, it's really nice pairing. The sounds are paired up with the motion really nicely. Weight, this thing is insane for how heavy it is. I seriously can't believe that they got that much weight in there. 739 grams, 26 ounces. By far the heaviest locomotive ever weighed. The next closest two were like I said, the Kato ST90 43 Mac was 616 grams. Athearn's Genesis GEVO was 581 grams. Those are the next two closest. The drawbar push and pull, that's a function of weight and the decoder, and this thing is amazing in that regard as well. 121 grams on the pull. This thing can pull a lot of cars on its own. Sound is great. ESU Loksound decoder. I think it's got a couple speakers. I was looking inside there. They've almost made it look like the speakers are the radiator fans. Lighting, a little bit disappointing in the lighting. I mean, it's awesome that they did the correct CN DPU lighting. I love that. But the fact that the ditch lights aren't very bright on the rear, not a huge deal. You don't typically run them long hood forward with the lights on, but still, I mean, the front headlights look great. So I'm not sure why the rear headlights turned out like that, but that is the way it is. So that'll wrap up this review and test, guys. Check out the video info. I'll put a bunch more information in there. I'll go more into depth in kind of each category and provide links to the websites and some different information. So have a look at that. As always, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time.